right, so how to code a flip property sell HUD statement. So you learned how to input a purchase HUD statement onto the books. So now we are doing the sell HUD statement for that same flip, okay? So the first thing we're going to do before we go check out some balances that we need to check on the balance sheet is we're going to go to that HUD statement, okay? And we're just going to check it out. So we're on the seller's side now, okay? So either you, as a real estate investor, you sold a flip property, or you as a bookkeeper, your client sold a flip property, okay? So hopefully your books are up to date for this particular property. Hopefully all balances are up to date and that sort of thing, because that's crucial to get some of these line items correct on the journal entry. But if not, you can always reference the documents that you should be referencing anyways for those balances. So let's get into this. As you can immediately see, there are actually two property locations on this HUD statement. So how to record two separate properties on, in one journal entry that are on one HUD statement being sold at the same time together with all their numbers kind of mixed. That is going to be a separate video that I'll take you through, and it's actually going to show you how to combine a flip sell with a rental sell all in the same journal entry, get everything to reconcile. Okay, so that's another video. This video, we're gonna pretend, okay? So we are going to pretend, for the sake of this single video, that these numbers are halved, right? So we didn't sell two properties for $380. We sold the one property we are concerned with, 119 Layla Lane, for $190, okay? So we're gonna cut these in half. We'll be very clear about that. So August 31st, 2023. All right, and then we will cut these settlement charges to the seller in half. We will only recognize the cross-country mortgage amount, since that's the mortgage amount tied to the property we're concerned with. Closing costs paid by seller, so we gave a concession to the buyer. We're going to cut that in half. 1740 had some Springwoods. The other property had some, deposits, security deposits from the tenants. We are not going to recognize those. Those are not for the property we are concerned with. Layla taxes, so we'll take that. We will exclude the Springwood taxes. Okay. And just looking at the settlement charges, those are all a mixture of both properties. So just for the sake of this video, okay, do not do this in real life. I want to be very clear about that. Do not do this in real life. Just for the sake of this video, we are pretending that only 119 Layla Lane is on this HUD statement, okay? And so this is a flip property. This is a sell HUD statement, and we are going to code it, all right? So, and before we even do that, so we'll go back to the HUD statement for a second. So you can see this mortgage, the payoff is $99,957.15, okay? And so what we want to do from here is we want to go to reports, hit balance sheet report. You're going to pull all dates, totals only, cash, customize, do our negative number customization that we like, filter customer, and hit the property we are concerned with, run report. I have already input this sell journal entry, okay? So that's why the hard money loan is zeroed out, the principal. But what we would normally see here is the amount that the remaining principal balance of the loan, right? Since this is a hard money loan, for this particular property, no principal was paid down on a monthly basis. It's just all paid at the sale of the property or the refinance of the property, which is how most hard money loans work. So what we would see prior to processing the sell journal entry is the balance of $96,500. It's very important for us to check that, because that's the number we need to zero out, right? And you also want to double check this figure with the actual payoff statement from the lender. So the hard money lender that loaned these funds, either you as a real estate investor, you ask them for a payoff statement, the law firm, title agency, whoever is creating this HUD statement for the closing for you or your client, they are going to need the payoff statement from the lender anyways. So just make sure you get a copy of that, or you get a copy of it from your client if you're a bookkeeper. And so you can double check these numbers. Okay, so on the payoff statement, it should have a principal balance of this being paid off, with extra interest or loan fees or what have you, right? So this is the principal balance we are concerned with right now, $96,500, and you will see why that's important. So from the dashboard, new journal entry, and I have already filled out conveniently the journal entry, right? So let's go over it. So if you remember, settlement date is August 31st, 2023. Nice searchable journal entry. So flip 119 Layla sell. This is not an adjusting journal entry because cash is coming, physically coming into the business. Okay, so if you remember on the HUD statement, we have we're going to say a sell price of $190,000, okay? If there was only 119 Layla Lane on this HUD statement and it wasn't combined with another property, okay? So I have halved all the line items that we need, okay? So the sales amount, all the settlement costs, I went line by line to make sure there wasn't anything specifically for Layla Lane, so I just halved the amount. Again, don't do this in real life. We're just doing this, for the purposes of this course. Hard money loans principal, if you remember on the balance sheet and verified by the payoff statement from the lender, this is the principal amount that needs to be paid off. And flip loan interest. So the total payoff amount, 99957.15. So what I did is I took that figure, I put it into here, and then I subtracted our principal balance, and this is what remained. So we'll just put this to flip loan interest, okay? We'll assume the payoff statement says, this was interest accrued over the life of the loan. And then this is incorrect. So we are coding all of these amounts to the flip inventory asset accounts, okay? So I made a mistake for this. This is a COGS account. So we want the flip inventory asset version of this, which is going to be in the 1000s, right? Assets are in the 1000s as far as account numbers go. And our chart of accounts conveniently has COGS in parentheses for all COGS accounts. So it's very easy to, point out, it sticks out to you, okay? And this, by the way, flip sells income. This is an income account, okay? It's in the 4000s. All right. Okay, so same thing here. So taxes for Layla Lane, this line item's covered. This is the seller concession so if you want to put descriptions for these, feel free to. We do for our clients to progress this course. I'm not going to put descriptions here, but I'm describing it as we're going through the course, right? As we're going through each line. So this $1,500, if you remember, we have $3,000 worth of seller, closing costs paid by seller on behalf of the buyer. We are the seller. This HUD is for the seller. And so these are paid on behalf of the buyer. It's a concession given to the buyer. And that goes in, we're just going to put it in selling costs for flipping purposes, okay? And then we are left with this amount, and we have it coming into our income account, okay? And so we can see debits equal credits. I've uploaded the HUD statement here, attached it to this journal entry for future reference. You always want to do that. I've put the name of the property for all of these. I excluded the bank account because I don't want this to show up on the balance sheet, on the property specific balance sheet. If I put the project here, it will show up as a line item on the balance sheet. Not the end of the world, just disregard it. But I don't like to see bank accounts and credit card accounts on individual, property statements. So that's the only reason I didn't include it here. Okay. Then you would hit save. Now, obviously, this amount that is coming into the bank account, right? It's a debit coming into an asset account, the bank account, this amount should match exactly the cash to the seller on the HUD statement, right? So we're going to pretend this equals the 73,000 figure that we have in the journal entry, okay? And that's about right, because again, this HUD statement contains two properties selling for the same price, just combined, right? And so, 73,000 and some change is about half of this amount. So as you can see, again, do not do this in real life. This is just for the purposes of this course, of this video. I'm showing you how to, as if I had a HUD statement with one, flip property on it. We're selling the flip property. This is what it would look like, okay? So hit save and close. And then you will go to reports. We're going to wait for it to load. Okay, we're going to check our work now, okay? And before you even do this, you would want to go to the bank feed. You are going to find that exact amount in your journal entry, okay? And on the cash to seller, on the HUD statement, and you are going to, make sure that transaction is in the bank feed, in that correct account, and you're going to match this journal entry to that bank feed transaction. Super easy. It automatically recognizes it. If you do not see that transaction, or it doesn't recognize the match, just check the date of your journal entry to make sure that's correct. Update the date, and then it sees it, right, and then you can hit match, and it's very easy. It clears it out of the bank feed, and it's matched to the journal entry, and all those transactions are captured appropriately, okay? So you are going to go to reports. You're going to pull a balance sheet, all dates, totals only, cash. The setting we like to see negative numbers. Customer, make sure the correct customer and project are selected, run report, and now you're going to check your work. So we have selling cost here. Some of these other accounts that are involved with the sell HUD statement, they're captured on here. Purchase closing escrow, that was zeroed out with the purchase. Rehab escrow was zeroed out previously with the real estate investor receiving funds from the lender. So they dispersed all of those funds. And then hard money loans principal has been zeroed out. And our flip sales income is captured here in the net income line. So let's go to that to see that. So now we're going to the income statement, or the profit and loss. And so here we see how much we sold the property for, and then our original seller concessions received amount when we purchased the property, okay? And so the reason we do not see all the other transactions on here quite yet is because we have to do an adjusting journal entry to get all the balances from the balance sheet over to the income statement via the cost of goods sold accounts. So once we do that, then we can see our profit for, not the actual profit, but our profit for the purposes of this course, right? Okay, and I believe that is all I need to tell you for this video. So now you should have a great idea of how to code a flip property sell HUD statement. All right, again, you will normally just have one property on one HUD statement, and that keeps all the accounting clean. Whenever there's multiple properties on one HUD statement, it's kind of an accounting nightmare. But we deal with what we have, right? And normally for this type of HUD statement that has two or more properties on it, we are going to split everything out for those properties in one journal entry, which will be and match it to the one bank feed transaction, which I will do for you guys in another video. But for the purposes of this video, we pretended that only 119 Layla Lane, which is the property we're concerned with, was contained on this HUD statement. So please try not to get too confused about that. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.